das verdes ondas do mar que teimam em querer beijar o teu corpo erguido às marés. Tenho ciúmes do vento que me atraiçoa, que vem beijar-te na proa e foge pelo convés. Tenho ciúmes do luar, da lua cheia, que no teu corpo se enleia para contigo ir bailar. Tenho ciúmes das ondas que se levantam e das sereias que cantam para te encantar. Oh, meu amor marinheiro, outono dos meus anelos, não deixes que a noite e a lua rouba a cor aos teus cabelos. Não olhes para as estrelas, porque elas podem roubar o verde que há nos teus olhos da cor do mar. Obrigada. Thank you. Obrigada. I will. So we are Fado Bicha. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having us, Matt and Andrea and Ivan. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on the opening day of your cycle here in Matt. I will be speaking in English because there are many people who don't speak Portuguese. So consider yourselves lucky that you can understand a bit more of whatever it is that we are doing up here. So you've heard me saying one word, obrigada. This is one very important word you should learn in Portuguese. I would say it's the second most important because the first one is bicha. And, well, I'm sure that by the end of the show you will understand a bit, at least, what bicha means. This first song that we sang is called Meu Amor Marinheiro. It's a very old fado song. And the next one that we are singing is the first single of our upcoming album. And it's kind of a revisiting of a classical fado song as well from the beginning of the 20th century about this commoner, this woman who was a flower seller on the streets, and she would sing fado as well. And it's interesting how 100 years later, or even more, we still sing about this woman named Julia, and maybe we don't know anything else about her, but there is a song about her, and we sing her name. Many other names were left unknown from lives that were left unlived. And this is true for many people in many social categories, and it's also true, and very painfully true, for LGBTI people and for queer people. And this revisiting that we created for this song, it bears my name, Lila Fadista, but as well, it's a tribute to all these people that we never got to see, whose names were not inscribed in history, or if they were inscribed in articles in newspapers or in trial sentences or in medical reports from psychiatric facilities. And unlike those, we are celebrating them here today on the stage with you. It's called Lila Fadista. Lila Fadista, bicha ativista, diz a tradição. É nesta Lisboa, figura de proa da nossa canção. Figura bizarra que é o som da guitarra, o fado viver. Trocava de amores, mas os seus valores jamais os vendeu. Oh, Lila Fadista, a tua linda história o tempo gravou na nossa memória. Oh, Lila Fadista, a tua voz ecoa nas noites bairristas, boémias fadistas da nossa Lisboa. Batom e perfume escondem o queixume e o cheiro a solidão de bicha sonora que teme e adora a febre e a tesão. Chinela no pé, um ar de ralé no jeito de andar. Se a Lila passava, Lisboa parava para a ouvir cantar. Ai, Lila Fadista, sem rede nem pista, rugir de leão, não pede louvores e atiça as cores do teu coração. Oh, Lila Fadista, a tua linda história o tempo gravou na nossa memória. Oh, Lila Fadista, a tua voz ecoa nas noites bairristas, fadistas da nossa Lisboa. Thank you. Como é que isso se abre? Podes abrir, por favor? So we are at... obrigado. Watch me drinking water. Maybe it's the first time you ever see this. Welcome again. You guys, venham para aqui. Não fiquem aí entaladas. There's plenty of space here. You can come inside. Podem entrar. Há bastante espaço aqui. Eu pareço assustadora, mas não faço mal. The next song we will be singing it bears the name of a Portuguese poet from last century. His name was António Boto. He was born, I think, in the end of 19th century, in the countryside, and he came to Lisbon with his family, where he grew up. He was from a very poor family. He eventually started writing poetry, and in 1923, he published his first poetry book called Canções. And in this book, some of his poems are explicitly aimed for another man. There are love poems, even sensual poems. And it is believed that Boto was the first poet in the Western world to publish explicitly homoerotic poetry. He's very little known in Portugal. In fact, he was ostracized, and he even exiled himself. He was a bit of a drama queen, to Brazil, where he ended up dying in misery. And since that we are in a public assembly, in a cycle about public health and epidemics and social oppression, it struck my mind that actually queer identities are also seen as an epidemics. And this is so clear when we hear politicians, even nowadays, even in Portugal, saying that LGBTI activists cannot speak in schools to kids about queerness, about non-discrimination towards LGBTI people, when they require that our kids are not tainted, are not contaminated with our existence. So I think we can say that for a lot of people, for a long time and still now for a lot of people, our existences and identities are still a matter of public health. And this is me being the Minister of Health right now, in front of you. So we will sing this fado with a poem by António Boto that we created ourselves with his words, and we called it Fado Boto.
Pintei de negro os meus olhos e de roxo a minha boca. Pintei de negro os meus olhos e de roxo a minha boca. As rosas eram aos molhos para a noite rubra e louca. As rosas eram aos molhos para a noite rubra e louca. Os meus ombros florentinos cobertos de pedraria, os meus ombros florentinos cobertos de pedraria, alumiando o meu corpo todo em febre e nostalgia, alumiando o meu corpo todo em febre e nostalgia. De saudades vou morrendo e na morte vou pensando. De saudades vou morrendo e na morte vou pensando. Meu amor, porque te foste sem me dizer até quando? Meu amor, porque te foste
Thank you. Obrigado. The next song is a song I wrote 2 years ago. Well, as you probably know, Portugal has a colonial history like other countries in Europe. And what you maybe don't know, but I guess you do as well, is that we haven't quite digested our colonial history yet, because we are quite attached to the myth, to a lot of myths of greatness, of kindness, of being the good colonizer, and of course of not being racist at all, never have been. And 2 years ago there was this very I'm missing the adjective for that. Very weird and very that I know there is a word for that, but I cannot remember it in English. That it announces negative news, like a negative forecast. And this was an interview in a morning show of a guy called Mário Machado, who is one of the leaders, if not the most recognizable leader of neo-Nazism in Portugal. And he was, after being in jail for many years for having beaten to death a black man in the center of Lisbon, he was interviewed in the morning show. And it was very disturbing for me and for a lot of people. And it triggered my desire to write a song that, from our perspective of white people in Portugal, would address so many topics, past and current, regarding colonialism and racism in Portugal, our history and our present. And it's called Lisboa, Não Sejas Racista.
Dizes que não és racista, senhora Lisboa. Vou-te mais do que uma pista, e olha que não falo à toa. Lembras-te do quanto chutaste para canto quem filho do império fora? Bastardos serão, portanto, do Jamaica à Cova da Moura. Lisboa, não sejas racista, de visão simplista, só te fica mal. Lisboa, a Joacine diz-te, o racismo persiste porque é estrutural. Lisboa, mas sempre na berra, o vai para a tua terra, ouves-te a falar. Lisboa, não sejas racista, um psicanalista podia ajudar. Revisita a tua história, ai senhora Lisboa. Aprenda quem deves memória, os caídos da tua coroa. Mas ouvi dizer que agora queres manter os brasões da luz aventura. Ai, chega de enaltecer um império assente em escravatura. Lisboa, não sejas racista, colonialista, de civismo à brás. Lisboa, destino traçado na escola colado à mesa de trás. Lisboa limpa por mulheres às quais não conferes direito a sonhar. Lisboa, não sejas racista, é tão quinhentista, vê se mudas de ar. Lembra sempre o bom candé. Lisboa, na praça, a sua morte rima com André e a corja do dia da raça que agora ri no sofá da TVI a falar bem do Salazar. São opiniões, é só um nazi, não vês mal em normalizar. Lisboa, não sejas racista, sorriso trocista às queixas que há. Lisboa, celebra a Beatriz, o que a mulher negra diz e o mama do bar. Lisboa, com ecos de pinga, a filha alfragide, segurança para quem? Lisboa, não sejas racista, cacetete fascista, é bosta e bem. Lisboa, não sejas racista, não é só para turista vir e ocupar. Lisboa, não sejas racista, velha cavaquista, não queiras voltar. Lisboa, não sejas racista, senhor comunista, ponha-se a par. Lisboa, não sejas racista e crê que esta lista não vai amansar. Lisboa, não vives, não falas, tira-me essas palas e aprenda a escutar.
Obrigada. Podem manter as luzes vermelhas que eu aprecio o ar de bordel. É mais interessante para mim. E não me sinto tanto no Museu de Arqueologia. Muito obrigada. A próxima música que vamos cantar é a primeira vez que vamos cantá-la ao vivo. E decidimos cantar... Oh, sorry, I forgot. The next song we will sing is, well, it's the first time we will be singing it live. We decided to sing it for for three reasons mostly. Because it's in English, because it's a recent song. We just released an EP, a mini album, in the beginning of this month, and I will tell you about it. And also because, and mostly I guess, because this album kind of speaks to some things that are connected to this cycle. Well, at least in the way I see it, or in the way that I connected to it when I read the description and I read the title. So we will be singing it for you. And this EP we created it. It's like its starting point was an invitation from an art magazine from Rhode Island in the United States to create something for their 9th issue, which was this year. And they have, like, the magazine is called Headmaster, and from issue number 1 they have a different artist every issue writing a new chapter of the story of this person or this character, the headmaster. And it's always in different formats. And this year they invited us to write the 9th chapter of the story in a song, as a song. And we were so excited with it. And once I started thinking about the lyrics and the story, it wouldn't end, because I created this whole cycle in my head regarding the the two characters, the headmaster and this other character that I will tell you about. And then I just couldn't have less than that, so we ended up creating an album with 9 songs. So this song that we will sing now is sung by this person whom the headmaster calls Oscar, and this person was someone that the headmaster had a love affair with more than 30 years ago in college, and he had never seen since then, and they meet each other unknowingly, like out of chance, in a cafe. And then this song that I will sing, it tells the story of this person from childhood until the moment that this person has met the headmaster, and it's a narrative, and it's a storytelling. So I will sing this lullaby to you. It's called Horse of Troy.
There was a boy, when so very lonesome and coy. They told him that he was a boy, then it became his horse of Troy. To be a boy, to be a boy. And for the sake of clarity, I'm gonna go with him and he. You know the stories about me, and tends towards the utter glee. To be free, to be free. From my young age his world was torn. He couldn't reckon what he'd been born to be. It seemed like he had sworn some sacred pledge, and he'd been warned. Cannot adorn, cannot adorn. If only could he taste the breeze, and wait to be paired with the bees, and ants he chased with hands and knees. The realm of insects that was his. Boy at ease, boy at ease. He learned to read before he spoke, buried his books under an oak. Unbeknown to him, his quirks stoke the wrath of man, and the pledge broke. It was God's stroke, it was God's stroke. He swallowed what was left of him, and forged a new cord to the brim, to thicken skin and tighten each limb. Brave, patriotic, lose every whim. Just swim, boy, just swim. He faked so good to keep the steer. He fooled himself to want a fear, and kicked the ball and drank the beer, and sought to become engineer. Hold the sneer, hold the sneer. But like the ants had been before, a makeshift world to flee the war, a band voice came back to explore, that put his body to a parole. Transfixed by a man of age and whore, performing what he's so called for, manhood on which he felt assured, he craved the scent of his mentor. Oh, deplore, oh, deplore. The last time he used this outlet, he was not gone for college yet. His uncle's brief smelled of mold sweat, and the vile spell bait to a bed. Riddled with shame, but oh so wet, under his skin he hid the fret, and in such state of woes beset, I hoped college would help me forget. But then we met, then we met. The engagement was a humbug, as was the coolness nearly smug. Every pore of me had a plug, until you shook me with a tug of your hug, of your hug. It took some time to realize how the sheer bluntness of your size left me no doubt, played no disguise, and in your calm I stood baptized. What a prize, what a prize. And then I fled. What could I have done? I was so scared as much as I was sprung. I should be sewn again and lose my kin. 2 knives in my head, one for joy, one for dread. I took pilgrimage to Berlin.
Obrigada. Obrigada. A próxima música é só putaria, chama-se Não Digas Mal Dele.
Foi mau, não minto, falso, ruim, vil e cruel, mas não consinto que ao pé de mim digas mal dele. Tu és banal, não se perdoa, não é decente dizer-se mal de uma pessoa que está ausente. Não tolero e não quero trazer de novo à cena dor que ainda me dói. Não foi nada contigo, não tolero, a não ser que tenhas pena de não ser como ele foi, para meu maior castigo. Tudo ruiu como um castelo feito na areia. Deves ter brio e não trazê-lo à minha ideia. Agora é tarde para censuras, sabe-lo bem. Que Deus o guarde de desventuras e a nós também. Não, 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 não tolero e não quero trazer de novo à cena dor que ainda me dói. Não foi nada contigo, não tolero, não sei que tenhas pena de não ser como ele foi para meu maior castigo. Vocês gostam de putaria? We will be singing now a song which is not ours. Well, none of them are actually. It's a song by one of the artists that I admire the most ever in the world. Her name is Elza Swatch. She's a Brazilian singer who is 90-something. And she has this song with which that inspires me deeply. And we started singing it in 2018. 18, wasn't it? I think it was. The year when Marielle Franco, a black queer female politician from Rio de Janeiro, was assassinated. Still to no avail, as to this day there has been no prosecution to that. And this song is called Woman of the End of the World. I find this expression very, very interesting and very thought-provoking, the end of the world. We say it sometimes, no, this is in the end of the world, or this person is a bit weird, it's from the end of the world. And it kind of takes us to a conception of center and periphery. And I guess the tension between center and periphery is the main premise in abstract terms of our work. And so it is very, very dear for us to sing this song, which is a celebration for black women in Brazil. And so we sing it to her, to Elza, and to their legacy, and we sing it to you tonight. It's called Mulher do Fim do Mundo. Teu choro não é nada além de carnaval. É lágrima de samba na ponta dos pés. A multidão avança como vendaval. Te joga na avenida que eu não sei qual é. Pirata e super-homem cantam o calor. Um peixe amarelo beija a tua mão. As asas de um anjo soltas pelo chão. Na chuva de confetes deixas essa dor. Na avenida deixas lá a pele negra e a tua voz. Na avenida deixas lá a tua fala, a tua opinião, a tua casa, a tua solidão. Jogou do alto do terceiro andar, quebrou a cara e se livrou do resto dessa vida. Na avenida dura até ao fim. Mulher do fim do mundo, tu és e vais carnaval, é lágrima de samba na ponta dos pés. A multidão avança como o vendaval, te joga na avenida que eu não sei qual é. Pirata e super-homem cantam o calor. Um peixe amarelo beija a tua mão, as asas de um anjo soltas pelo chão. Na chuva de confetes deixas essa dor, na avenida deixas lá a pele negra e a tua voz. Na avenida deixas lá a tua fala, a tua opinião, a tua casa, a tua solidão. Jogou do alto do terceiro andar, quebrou a cara e se livrou do resto dessa. Na avenida dura até o fim, mulher do fim do mundo, tu és e vais cantar até o fim. Obrigada. Dê-me só uns segundos. Is it too loud? The music? No, the sound. Because it feels like I'm kind of crushing you against the walls with sound. Espero que tenhas trazido uns tampões para os ouvidos, Carolina. Isto não te faz nada bem. Estás a gostar? Sim? We will sing now a song that I love to sing. We haven't sung it many times yet. And it's kind of a more funny song, although I really like it. I really love it. And it's a song about, there is a place in the suburbs of Lisbon, nowadays in the suburbs of Lisbon, called Canessas. And 100 years ago, or even more, it was very far away from the center of Lisbon. I mean, it's of course it's in the same place geographically, but it would take longer to get there. That's what I meant. And there are many rivers there and creeks, and it was very common for young ladies, young women from Lisbon to take the rich people's clothes in a donkey-driven vehicle to Canessas and to stay there for many days just washing washing the clothes. And they were called the lavadeiras, the washing women. And this song is about them. We are both from the suburbs of Lisbon and kind of close to where Canessas is. So I really like to sing this song. It's a bit of a silly, cheerful song, but at the same time, I like it. I like that it brings back these women, the lavadeiras de Canessas. I forgot to say one thing. Esqueci-me. I forgot to say one thing, which is that you will help me, if you are so kind, playing this song. So it goes like this. João is playing this, and then I sing. Okay, I sing. And you do like this. Okay, let's try it. Very well, and then I sing it. Very well. So I think we're ready. Os fregueses a conduta é na roupa que se prova, mas lavada e bem enxuta até fica como nova. Com Lisboa sem vaidade, a salou e a pé de meças. Há mais burros na cidade do que há burros em Canessas. Ai bate, bate, bate a preceito. Ai bate, bate, esfrega com a mão. Bate direito, a roupa de feição. Ou vai com jeito, ou com sabão. Ai bate, bate, bate a preceito. Ai bate, bate, esfrega com a mão. Bate direito, a roupa de feição. Ou vai com jeito, ou com sabão. Se por cá arrebenta o fogo entre o povo e mais a tropa, em Canessas vê-se logo quando a gente aparta a roupa. Eu conheço badamecos que só vestem roupa fina, até lavo papos secos que usam cuecas de menina. Ai bate, bate, bate a preceito. Ai bate, bate, esfrega com a mão. Bate direito, a roupa de feição. Ou vai com jeito, ou com sabão. Ai bate, bate, bate a preceito. Ai bate, bate, esfrega com a mão. Bate direito, a roupa de feição. Ou vai com jeito, ou com sabão. Ai bate, bate, bate a preceito. Ai bate, bate, esfrega com a mão. Bate direito, a roupa de feição. Ou vai com jeito, ou com sabão. Thank you so much. Certeza? No? Okay, so I'm told, I'm told that we don't have that much time, although we still have some more to sing. And the next one is a song that I wrote as well. And remember when I, on the second song I said that it was a song about a woman, a flower seller. There are many songs in Fado, classical ones, that are about common people, about the flower seller, the lemon seller, the fisherman, and I like them because they kind of bring a flavor of Lisbon many years ago, and we wanted to do the same, to create songs that would speak about the people that are around us and kind of set the meaning of what it is to be LGBTI nowadays in Portugal, and also what it is to fight for LGBTI rights and to put themselves on the stake and to be inspiring. And the person that we wrote a song about is one of these people. She's actually in the room right now, and she's a very close friend to us. We wrote this song about her. She's called Alice. And this is a song about her called Fado Alice. Quando ela passa, Gingameneia é de raça, o meu coração fracassa por saber que são batalha os dias dela. Em cada rua ou viela, mas rimas deixam sequela e resiste como calha. Passa audaz, com porte de tanto faz, e nem olha para trás se são fachos ou são fãs. Lembro-me quando nos conhecemos e disse: o meu nome é Alice e sou uma mulher trans. Voz de leoa, conhece meia Lisboa, às vezes fala à toa, escolheu não se esconder. Ela acordou já vestida, agarrou no batom e no Foucault, foi para a rua ter prazer. Boa de prosa, fez-se pantera vaidosa e coloriu-se de rosa, deu ao cravo nova cor. Língua sem intento, que já foi deitar fermento lá para os lados de São Bento, que se cumpra o seu furor. Quem souber canta. Lembro-me quando nos conhecemos e disse: o meu nome é Alice e sou uma mulher trans. Alice Azevedo. Thank you, Alice Azevedo. Thank you. Just stop because we don't have much time. We want to sing more. Thank you very much. The next song we will sing is very. I think it's very interesting. It was a poem. I have to explain it. It was there was this poet from last century called Pedro Homem de Mel, and he was somehow, we don't know his real identity, but he was for sure attracted to men, and both romantically and sexually. And he wrote many poems. Some of them were turned into fado songs, and this one was one of it's an example of that. It's quite explicitly homoerotic poem, I would say, but it was turned into a fado song by a fado singer who is also a monk. And, well, it was, in our opinion, butchered because some of the verses were cut off, and this person created a very cheerful melody for the poem, which, in our opinion, doesn't serve the poem. So we rescued it, and we created a new version for that. It's called The Boy in the Green Shirt, or in Portuguese, O Rapaz da Camisola Verde. Lembro o seu vulto, esguio como um espectro, naquela esquina pálido, encostado. Era o rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. De mãos nos bolsos e olhar distante, jeito de marinheiro ou de soldado. Era o rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Quem por ele passava talvez não desse pelo seu ar de príncipe exilado, ali naquela esquina de camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Perguntei-lhe quem era e ele me disse: sou do monte, senhor, e um seu criado. Pobre rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Pobre rapaz da camisola verde. Porque me assaltam turvos pensamentos. Na minha frente estava um condenado. Vai-te, rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Vai-te, rapaz da camisola verde. Ouvindo-me que doce, altivo o moço, indiferente à raiva do meu brado, e ali ficou naquela esquina de camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Ali ficou e eu cínico deixei-o, entregue à noite, aos homens, ao pecado. Ali naquela esquina de camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado, negra madeixa ao lado. Soube depois que ali se perdera, soube depois que ali me perdera. Esse que só eu pudera ter salvado. Ai do rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Ai do rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado. Ai do rapaz da camisola verde, negra madeixa ao vento, boina maruja ao lado, negra madeixa ao vento. João Caçador, if you hadn't noticed him yet.
We will sing the last one now. We will sing the last one now. And thank you all for your attention and your kindness. It's always a two-way experience, and I always, this sounds like this rubbish that artists say, but it's true. we always feel thankful that people would sit and with their backs on a wall and just listening to us, to what we have to say, and hopefully feeling as well what we want to convey. Thank you again to Matt for having us. I hope it's only the first time. And thank you, Ivan and Andrea. The cycle will go on until Sunday. There are many interesting conversations and movies and things happening. So if you can come, you're more than welcome. And yeah, we say goodbye with pride, which is the feeling that guides our lives, and always acting as an antidote to the shame that was sewn under our skin. We don't accept it anymore. Marcha do Orgulho.
Cheia de cor, terra de tremor, a cada junho, cascatas de purpurinas, perucas são crinas, e ao alto punho, é dia de vir cá para fora, aqui e agora, pôr o pé no mundo, tirar a bandeira do armário, é comunitário, num clamor rotundo, nem menos nem mais, direitos iguais, são muitas as cores desta minoria. Em cada esquina amigas, novas e antigas, mil bichas em euforia. Política na rua, a minha voz e a tua, em exaltação e barulho. Nós existimos, amamos e sorrimos, é a marcha do orgulho. De megafone apontado ao povo e ao Estado, em vários graus, trazemos um carnal do príncipe real até às naus. É todo um alfabeto, desde o discreto à mulher trans, e só assim é urgente com toda a gente, e mais os pais e as mães. Nem menos nem mais, direitos iguais, são muitas as cores desta minoria. Em cada esquina amigas, novas e antigas, mil bichas em euforia. Política na rua, a minha voz e a tua, em exaltação e barulho. Nós existimos, podemos e sorrimos, é a marcha do orgulho. As cores desta minoria. Em cada esquina amigas, novas e antigas, mil bichas